As a beginner, you are done with your study, and the next requirement is to do data entries and to analyze your data. For the first time, you open the SPSS Data Editor view. You see a lot of things which you might not know, but you don't need to panic. There is an easy way of the process. So when you open like this, your SPSS interface, the first thing you see is the data view, and with the data view it's always blank. Since you don't have any entries done yet, you just need to go to the variable view. So when you look at this, is blue, it means that it's in the data view. So just click on the variable view and you have this. So we have the name, the type, width, decimals, label, values, missing, columns, align, measure, and we have rule. So these are different rules. You need to input your variables. You specify the type of variable you have, the label, the values, and also the measure. So some of them by default would come, but the most important is just the name. That's the variable name, the type, the label, the values, and the measure. So I have a questionnaire here to input into the software, and the data was collected among women of reproductive age, and we're trying to find out their knowledge of contraception. We also asked about their contraceptive usage and also the side effects they experience whilst using the contraceptives. So when you have your questionnaire, you need to have it in a soft copy. Don't use hard copy. Using hard copy will make your work very difficult. So when I have this is the first question, and the first question is what is your age as at last birth? So I only need to remove this numbering this way, then I can pick anything from. So when you come to the name here, you cannot put any spacing. You only need underscore, or you need to put the names together. So you can say age in years and press enter. So you see the rest appears. But if I say age in years, it will not allow me. So they are going to tell you that variable name contains an illegal character, but I can only do it age underscore in years, and it still works well with me. So mostly what I do is that I'll just say age in years. I need no spacing in years, or just age, and I'm good to go. So once you do that, automatically the type appears to be numeric, the width is 82, you leave it. So the variable label means the question. So you only need to copy. That's why you need to remove the number. I'll just right click on this, copy, or Ctrl+C, then I click here once. So if you are here, you just click once, then you paste. So when you do this, the next thing is to key in your response options to do the entries. So we have this one. They had to check A, B, C, D. So I'll code this. This will be 1, this will be 2, this will be 3, and this will be 4. So once I do the entries, when I press 1, it means that I want 15.9, or I'm indicating that the respondent was 15 to 19 years old. So I'll just click here. You see it's none. Just click once again. You see 3 dots. Click here. Then you put 1. Then you put. So you come back to your questionnaire. So it will always be your reference. Then I say 15.9. You see we have add here. Just click on it. Then you put 2 again. And you come back 20 to 29. But I always make it easy for myself by just pressing enter. The moment you are done, just press enter and you have it. 3, take 30 to 39, press enter. Then 4, you say 40 to 49. Then we have 5, then you have 50 to 59. So let's say for instance the D was supposed not to be there because we only end with 40 to 49. So I just click here and I say remove. then I click on OK. So after this, I'm now coming to the measure. What type of variable is that? Is it categorical? Is it numeric? If it is categorical and it's also not in rank, I can say nominal. But since we made it in rank from 15 to this, and from this we can say it's ordinal. So I'll just click here and make it ordinal. So I'm done with it. So I'll double click here again and save first. So you can just save it. So you can say, let's say, data entries. This one doesn't need any combination of words. You can speak because you are saving your file. Then you save. So I can look for the next one again. So I'll say marital status. So I'll just say double click to like this so that it's blinking. So marital status. You can even edit it. So you click here, copy this, Ctrl plus C, then you paste. So we have single and never married. So if you realize the names are long, you just, or the options names are long, just copy, click here again, 3.1, paste, press enter, come back again, married, copy, paste, 2, 3. So since these are short, so I'll just say divorced, then 4, then we have what? The last one, which is widowed. So I'll click OK. I'll do that for educational level. So educational level, so I'll just say, I can just say click here and do education, then come here, copy this, paste, click here again, 1. So I have what we call the response option. So I'll just say tertiary, 2, then secondary, press enter, 3. I have JHS, 4. I have what we call the primary, 5. Then we have none. So this numbering depends on how your response options are. So the way they are ordered, that's the way you take. So you can even decide to go from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But always use 1, 2, 3, 4, since that will help with the code. When you put it, it means that when you are now going to do the entries, you have to be crossing your fingers to 0 to press to be able to do the entry. So I always start with 1. So it's always advised that we start with 1 to the rest, unless maybe you are going to do some analysis where, let's say, maybe logistic regression, where you have to code yes 1 and also no 0. So you just do it while doing the entry. So I'll just do this and go. So let's say we are done with the socio-demographic. I can just click here to save, or just click file, save, come to my data view, and you can see them here. So, but you realize that since we didn't change the measure, it's continuous. But we know marital education, marital is nominal, education is ordinal. So you can just come to variable view, change this to nominal, change this to ordinal. So anything that has meaningful rank, I'm going to use ordinal. Anything that is nominal means they are just multiple choice with no rank. Male, female, yes, no, that kind of thing. So once we do this, we save again. So let's say we are done with this. That's the socio-demographic. Now coming to this. Have you ever heard about contraceptives before? So with this, we have yes, no. So let's say after that, we are going to run logistic regression when we are done with the entries. So we'll put this as 1, but this as 0, because we know that that will be the only way to run this test. Or else if you start with 1, 2, when you run with the analysis, you might have issues. Even though sometimes you run and you're able to get the estimates. So I'll just do something like this. So, and remove the numbering again. So this way. So I can say, so with the knowledge level, I can just say have heard, or I can just put something like have heard, have you heard, that is all. I can just say question 4, then I just click here, paste, then yes. So I'll put 0 as no, 1 as yes. So before I can get 0 response, it means that I need to select 0. So I'll click OK and change this to nominal. So I come back again. Where did you hear from this one? So I can just put yes source, then click here once, paste, then click here 1, then since this is not for logistic regression, this is not dependent, I'll just ignore and just start with the 1. So I'll say nurse stroke midwife. 2, I'll use doctor. 3, I'm going to use friend or relative. 4, I'm going to use host or banners. 5, then we have media, where we can put something like this: books, radio, and television, TV. So we have another option, that is other specify. So other specify, we can just put something like this: 6, other specify. But you should note that when we put other specify here, it doesn't mean that when you select other specify, it gives you another box to do the entry. So now we have to code another variable as other specify, and make it like open-ended, so that you can type the particular response they give. So instead of leaving it numeric, we have to change it to string, so that we allow for the entry of whatever the respondent is saying, whether it's another option that we didn't provide. So I'll just click here once, change to string, and I'll just add 0. So if you don't add 0, it means that when you type up to 8 words or characters, you will be restricted from typing it. So what I normally do, I can just add 0 or 00. It means that it's under, even though I know that I'll not be able to type up to 80 or not talk of 100. So I'll just click OK, then I leave it this way. So by default, you see it becomes string, but this was not what label, so we just change the unknown to nominal. So we do that and we are good to go. So let's assume we are done with this, and we are now going to do on this. So we are being specific here by telling the respondents that the moment you say you have heard of contraceptives, which one of them do you know? So we didn't limit them. We told them to take as many as they want. Maybe you know condom, you know injectables, you know implants, oral contraceptives. But the moment we give you only one option, you only need to check one. So it was a multiple response option or variable. So see here we have condom, female, injectables. So you realize it falls under a particular question. So what we need to do is to code these response options as variables themselves. So if we pick this, we have to code it as a variable. So we don't put it like under what contraceptives do you know. So just come here and say condom. So we'll copy this, put it here, then we'll label. So since we don't need this for regression, as the dependent, we can just say 1 means yes, 2 means no, or better so you can still go on with the one you were using by this. So if maybe I want to use a 0 and 1, I'll just click here and I can change it. So when you click here, you just see 2, so you just change to 0 and you see change. So when you click on change, this is what you get, then you click OK. So once you do this, since they are the same variables, I'm just going to ignore the values, but I'll concentrate on the condom. That's the name and also the label. So I'm just going to click on this again. So I'll just type here injectables, paste. The next one I'll copy. So it's just about copying, not typing. So implants, so I'll just say implants. I'll click here, I paste. Then I have another one, oral pills. So I'll just say pills. So pills. Then I paste here. I have what we call withdrawal. Coitus interruptus. So I'll just say withdrawal. Then I paste. Then I have another one, other specify. So the other specify, you can just put that one to other specify. Then as usual. So with this again, so we have two other specify. That's why they are saying they are the same. So other specify. Look at what they say. This variable duplicates an existing variable name. So we can just say order the underscore to make it different from the other. Then we change this one to string again. Then we'll put 800 again. So when we do this, since we know that these fall under the same question, we can just copy this. So when you click on this once, press the arrow key down, come back again with your keyboard arrow, copy, then click and hold. You just press and hold your keyboard shift, then drag to the last and do paste, and we have it here. So you don't need to do them manual again. So you see everything is labeled here. So if it was not labeled, you just click here once, click, go down again, so it becomes bluish. Come back to the variable, copy again, then use the same keyboard keys, then you paste. So that's how we do for this aspect. So let's look for the last one and see whether, so let's say we are done with this. Let's look for the last one and see whether it's different. So let's use this. Let's say maybe I want to find out the side effects experience. So do you use modern contraceptive recently or currently? So I'll just remove the numbering, copy this. So I can just put here, do you use? That's all. I click here, I paste. So I put 0 as no, 1 as yes, and I click OK. So when I do this, the next thing, what side effects have you experienced? So I'm not going to give a variable name for this. I'm going to use these particular symptoms as variable names. So let's say there are 3. We are just going to do it as easy as the copying we're doing. So just click here, copy, and explain bleeding. So we can just click and say bleeding. Then we'll say paste. So we'll come back again, palpitations. So we'll click here. So we'll type palpitations. We paste here. We do same here. Psychological disturbance. So we can just say psychological. So psychological. Then we can click here and we paste. So since they are the same options, yes, no, I don't know, we can do it this way. 1, yes, 2, no, 3, I don't know, and press enter and click OK. So as I said earlier, just click here, press your down arrow key to highlight this blue, Ctrl+C, press down again, hold shift, scroll down and press enter. And when we do that, you still have the same options. So let's say we are done with our entries. You click OK. So when you come to data view, this is what you see. And you have your variables. But look at here, it's continuous. So we need to go back and correct again. So we come back here and we change this. So we can do it manual by this. Click nominal, 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 nominal. Then we save again. So when you come back here again, you see we have it there. So let's say you are now going to do entries. Let's look at this. The first question was what? Have you heard of contraceptive? The first question was, what is your age? So we coded what? 15 to 19 as 1. So let's say the participant was set to 39. So this is 1, 2, 3. So I'll just click here once, press the key, click once, just press 3, number 3, press backspace to delete, and we press shift. Then you have the variable data entered. So you look for the second one. Oh, patient or participant was what? Married. So that's 1, 2. So I'll just click here again, 2, go back. Let's see, 9. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'll just click here. So you can even leave it bluish like this and just say 5, then press shift. So we have ethnicity. We don't have ethnicity. Have you ever heard? So we coded it as 0, 1. So no, I just put 0 and press tab, or I just come back, press 1 and press tab. Source, let's say NS. So that's 1. So I just press this 1, shift, other specify. So if maybe you had chosen other specify and the response option was what? that was 6. So if I say other specifier, let's say maybe 6 other specifier, I can just say, let's say community. So this one allows you to space, so you can say community leaders, then you can go. So when you even resize, you see that everything is written there. So we can go with the next one. If maybe the respondent says that, or maybe the respondent didn't check condom, it means that that's no. So I just press 2 tap. By here we coded no as what? 0. So we just 0 no. So maybe the person new injectable, so 1 0 1 0. So it means I want to say that respondents knew only injectables and pills. That's the meaning here. So we have to code them as different variables, and that's what we just did. So other specifier, we didn't select that, so we can just go. So maybe if the respondent too also was like, oh, there's another one you didn't indicate in the questionnaire, so just say 1, or maybe you just type it. Let's say maybe paracetamol is part, so just say paracetamol, then we'll press enter. Do you use, let's say, family planning? Let's say with our this one we coded it as 1. I see yes, so I'll say yes 1. Press tab. Were you bleeding? No, that's 0. So by here we realize that earlier we coded it as 2 because it was not of interest. So just 2 no. Then palpitation we'll do no. Or someone can say yes, so I just come back and say 1 and I'm done. So the more you press tab to the last one, it moves to the next row. So that's how you do. So if I'm going to do the next entry, looking at my responses, I'll just say 2 3 1 1, then I say 3, skip this 1 no, that way, skip this no. So if no is coded as 0, so this is 0, correct it. So you can come back and correct and say no, and it comes back. So you do that until you are able to finish your responses. So if here is wrong, just click there, then you can just change. You don't need to even delete, just press the right response. Let's say 0, and you can change it to the last entries. So once you are done, you can just do some basic descriptives. Maybe if I just click analyze descriptive frequency, put the variable here. So once it's selected, or you can just select it, put here, click OK, and you will see your output here. So you see that we have 3 responses, but the problem was that it was continuous. So the mean was 2.0, standard deviation was 1. So if let's say maybe it's categorical, but you see with this is determined as what's the name? Is determined as ordinal. So we need to do this. Click analyze frequencies instead of the descriptives here. Then you click OK. Then you have the output you need. But when you go and you click on the descriptives itself instead of the frequencies, they are going to give you mean and standard deviation, which is not meaningful, because in ordinal it's not meaningful to get a mean for that. So you just go with the descriptive to see if you have some wrong entries. You can identify them here in order. So that is basically how we do entries using SPSS.